Welcome back to Master Your Ash. Tonight we will be smoking the Opus 2020 Dubai in Harina de Amor. This was sent courtesy of Cigar Carpenter Mike. Shout out to Mike. Go check out Cigar Carpenter if you have not already. This is a 5x52 Dominican Puro, and it has this really pretty presentation that you will see in the overhead shot with the footband. So this has been in my humidor since Mike originally sent the pack so that I could try out Knuckle Sandwich for this year, as well as a couple of other sticks. Shout out to Mike once again. So we know Dominican Puro, 5x52, very hard to find cigar. MSRP is right around $40, $45. It's very, very difficult to find it for this. So thank you, Mike, for sharing. I have watched bits and pieces of Cigar Carpenter's review. He put his out about 4 months ago. I believe that Roger from Working Man Cigars, as well as Johnny OCD, all have reviews on this particular Vitola. And overall, between Cigar Collective posting about it on Instagram, Carpenter, Working Man, OCD, everybody has spoken very highly of this cigar. So, as an avid OpusX fan from time to time, with certain ones being very good, certain ones being not so good, I'm looking forward to trying this out. And there's really not much more to say at that, right? Just gotta light it up. I believe that, from what I recall from Carpenter's review, he spoke of florality, he spoke of nuttiness, a little bit of pepper spice on it, and overall just really danky, delicious, well-aged tobacco. Looking forward to that. And the cigar is certainly very delicious right off of the initial lighting. Very smooth on the retrohale too. I get the nuttiness, I get the creaminess, little slight hints of florality, not very much spice at all. Well, damn. That is fantastic off of the initial lighting. Creamy, nutty, little tiny hints of florality, and maybe spice on the back end, but certainly like the faintest amount. I would say maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10 in terms of spice off of the initial lighting, both on the retrohale and on the palate. Just very minimal spice. Okay, we have a little bit more spice on that draw. So ramping back up, 6 or 7 out of 10. We'll leave it right there to start off with the initial lighting. I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. We'll dive into some of the initial flavors. Sorry about the partial truth on the 5-10 minutes. Ended up enjoying this so much that took a little bit longer. Really solid funkiness to this cigar. Well-aged tobacco. Very much a peanut butter, peanut shell bomb of a cigar. Very nutty, very creamy. A little bit of bread, toasty notes, and yeasty notes here and there. The actual spice has ramped up as well. Still maintaining that 6 or 7 out of 10 after we got through the first initial puffs. Certainly much more white pepper, floral spice on the retro, along with like maybe even a little bit of baking spice cinnamon on the palate and on the finish. As you could probably tell from the overhead shot, there is a little bit of a wave to the burn. It's not the most even burn, but it is a very delicious cigar nonetheless. And there's plenty of smoke volume, plenty of texture. Kind of has like this mixture between divine inspiration, flavor, and spice with like the barrel spice notes that you get off of that or the baking spice notes, along with like a traditional kind of Opus X flavor. So it's like taking the Casa Cuba line, the divine inspiration, or the Cinco Doble, or the, Cinco Cinco, and mixing that with some of the original Opus X, like the Triple X Power Ranger that we smoked not too long ago on the channel. One thing that's very prominent about this cigar, there's almost like this eucalyptus, minty kind of finish that you get on the retrohale. Very nice, very smooth, has a cooling effect to handle all of that spice that has also picked up throughout the blend. So I'm going to smoke this down. We'll pay attention, look for any flavor transitions or any types of developments in the blend, and I'll be back. Smoking on down the second third, about to actually hit this primary band and enter into the final third. And as you can tell, even with the wavy burn line, fantastic construction from the Fuente family yet again. This Opus X Dubai is fantastic. It has a depth of flavors to it, tons of complexity, great texture, flavors of nuttiness, peanut shells, creamy cashew, all leading the forefront charge with a nice little bit of florality that's honestly just more or less barrel spice notes. at this particular moment. And the perfect amount of spice on the retrohale, straight 5 out of 10. Not too spicy at all. The perfect amount to match up with the blend, making it complex, making the finish nice and lengthy. Medium plus finish, almost medium plus body, but definitely medium body. Whoop, there goes the ash. I had a feeling that it was going to fall off sooner or later because I was talking such high things about it and praise. So it was only a matter of time, right? But that's the ash. And I think that at this particular point, we can take off the primary band. And yeah, we are left with just about the final third left to go. Just finishing up our OpusX Dubai. The cigar is still very consistent all the way through. Even though we are in the final third now and the texture has lightened up a little bit, the flavors aren't as dramatic and complex. They are still very much almost the exact same as they were in the first third, the second third, with that nuttiness, that creaminess, slight florality, a little mintiness on the back end. Absolutely delicious cigar. And much like the OpusX XXX, I would recommend a rum pairing with the cigar. I think that rum is going to treat you very nicely, especially if you have some really eclectic, fun rums. This will also pair absolutely deliciously with some of your high-end scotches, your cognacs. I mean, the flavor spectrum opens up a lot of different possibilities. A wonderful pairing to be had with your non-alc favorites as well. Not just with coffee, but also with tea would be a fantastic pairing. I could see like some orange blossom, Earl Grey lemon being a flavor affinity with a cigar like this. I have personally been drinking yerba mate a little bit more. And one of the yerba mates that I really like are like the chai spiced yerba mates, and I like them cold. So I'll throw the tea bags in the yerba mate filled up with water in a container, and I'll throw that in the fridge overnight. Absolutely delicious, especially with the cigar. Obviously, the biggest problem with this is the same problem that plagues almost every single OpusX, which is availability, not being its very best ability, and also the secondary market and the price gouging that goes on with cigars like this. So if you come across this cigar, I will say it is absolutely worth picking up a 5-pack of. I know that at $40 a stick, 20 count box, it's an $800 box, so that's a little steep. And it's not a cigar that I think I would want to smoke a full box of per se. It's something that I just like to have like a loose 3 or 5 sticks around to celebrate a special occasion or to have with some really, really close friends. But shout out to Carpenter. Really appreciate you, Mike, for sharing this with the channel. Thank you all so much for liking, commenting, subscribing. Cigars Unbanded is the live stream channel. It is every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We go on there each week on Thursday and smoke a cigar from the Small Batch. Cigars Unbanded pack exclusively at Small Batch. So you have an opportunity to not only enjoy the cigar with us, but you have an opportunity to contribute to the overall rating of that cigar every single week. That's Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you all so much once again. I look forward to catching you for another OpusX Dubai cigar review.